Hello everybody, Althamir here with another video, and today we are going to be going over the Update 44 live stream, kind of just summing it up and what I liked and concerns and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's just dive right into the video. Well, before that, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it. So again, let's dive in. Okay, so what I really enjoyed was the new maps, especially the 8x8 maps. As you can see here, it kind of has that city feel, and it kind of more, I would say, casual feel to it. Now, if you're not familiar, you didn't watch the live stream, the battlegrounds are changing to a 2v2. So we are losing one of it's no longer Fire Drakes, Storm Lords, and we're losing one of the colors, and I don't remember which one off the top of my head, but um, they're also bringing back power-ups where you can run around and kind of just get speed or you get damage or whatever. So, I mean, I think that's really cool, kind of spice up things a little bit, and also something that they're adding is they voiced their concerns about a chaos ball and the fact that they saw during some sort of testing that they did internally that people were that's one of the power-ups there, that people it was very one-sided, and I think it's very nice that they um wanted to address that because according to Brian Wheeler, they have actually been working on this for like 2 years, just internal testing it and trying to get it down. So what they did for chaos balls, you have multiple chaos balls now. But what they also added was transformations. You pick up a Chaos Ball, and who has the Chaos Ball transforms. One of the things you transform into, you'll probably see it eventually here, is a werewolf behemoth. Another one is a vampire lord. I think things like that, just beefing things up and you know changing it. I think that's really good. I think that's something that we kind of need in the PvP community. We need something new to chew on and just some fun dynamics. I mean, that's something that the 8x8 is apparently a lot more like casual, like laid back. It's not as competitive. I don't think there's any MMR to it. People who can remember that can let me know in the comments if you remember if they said that. But I don't think there's any sort of MMR in 8x8, and there's no like leaderboards. But you still get rewards. You just get rewards a little slower. The 4x4 is more competitive. It's leaderboards, and you get rewards faster. But the maps are a little smaller. There's hazards on the map which are really cool. One was like you get booped off of this bridge, and you end up in Slaughterfish, which I thought was hilarious. It could lead to just a lot of fun. Um, I've really also liked the idea of competitive versus casual, which is something I thought was kind of missing in Battlegrounds, because everything was very competitive and it was very like you can get behind on points really fast, and that really sucked. It really kind of pushed even me away from Battlegrounds, and I love PvP. But I thought it's really great that they're adding like an 8v8. Now there's a lot of questions I have about that 8v8. Is it a pre-made? Can it be 8 solo people? So that there's a lot of questions there that will have to be answered during the PTS, obviously. Um, I will be jumping into the PTS as well, testing a few things, especially something I'll be talking about a little later. I don't know if I'm going to be jumping into Battlegrounds really, but we'll see. We'll get into it. The thing that worries me though is that they're getting rid of the old Battlegrounds. They're basically being put on the back burner for the time being. Now, for all of you, who liked about those Battlegrounds, try to get those achievements fast, I guess. And I think that's what kind of worries me. I mean, why can't they just keep the old Battlegrounds in? Are they afraid that people aren't going to do the new Battlegrounds and all that work that up into it would add up to it being a failure? Or if that's the case, it's like I don't really like the fact that I feel like they're forcing us to play it. That feels kind of weird. You know, it, I feel like people will play the new content regardless. You don't have to take away the old battlegrounds in order to force us into playing the new ones. I think people will check it out anyway. And honestly, in my opinion, I think it will be fun. Now, oh yeah, this will. I think he'll show you right here. Um, the chaos ball. See how there's three chaos. Like there's gonna be multiple chaos balls on the map, which I think will really add to it. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Or is it a server thing? I know that Rich Lambert had said, "See, you turned into a werewolf behemoth." Absolutely funny. Oh my god, imagine that charging at you. Anyway, um, Rich Lambert had said that you know they're gonna keep old consoles in there, blah 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 blah, but also that those old consoles. Now you see, there's multiple chaos balls. Anyway, that the old consoles are adding up to memory issues still. In case you didn't know, in case you knew this, the reason why we have limited housing slots and limited this and limited that is because of the old consoles, basically, and the memory issues that those bring in. Because that's one thing that Rich had said in that interview, is like, they have to always take in consideration, you know, trying not to blow up their server immediately. But that's my concern. Is that the reason why the old battlegrounds are being taken out? Like you can't have the two together right now, and they need to work on it more. But I'm gonna miss the old battlegrounds, and I really have all the achievements either, which really sucks because I did the battlegrounds before the achievements were there. So they didn't count, and that's the Vampire Lord. And you have the abilities too, in case you notice the bars. But I don't know. We'll have to see. They said that they would bring them back, for those like event holidays or whatever. You know, um, Even, and just in case you're wondering, the death match death match weekend, the capture the flag weekend, whatever it is, those are all for the new maps. So they won't bring back the old maps for that, but they will bring back them maybe for like events or special things. um I think that's the one giant concern I have. Why can't we still have the other maps? Now people who don't have the achievements are going to be really screwed. I think that's bad. I really do. We also no, they have 7 new maps, which I think is really cool. And the question is, are no, I think that also means that the old maps are being retired. And he does show you some of the maps here, so that's good. But that's also kind of like, well, some of the maps are really fun, right? Some of these maps are actually pretty fun too, I will admit. Um, let's see. We have new companions as well. These new companions will be available via the Crown Store this time. Not obviously the chapter's already out, so you can't include them in the chapter, right? And you can't put them in the chapter zone because, well, that's behind a paywall, so that's weird. So they put them in the Crown Store. If you have ESO Plus, you'll be able to get them for free. If you don't have ESO Plus, then what will happen is you will have to purchase the um you have to purchase them, right? But what that does is when you purchase them, that allows them that frees them up to be unlocked in their zone. Like there's a high elf, so you'll find her, sorry, in Oridon. There is a Gajit, and I don't remember where you find him, which is embarrassing right now. I want to say Canarthi's Roost, but I could be wrong. Or maybe Reaper's March. But anyway, so just so actually it might be elsewhere. Anyway, regardless, once you unlock the companions, then it becomes how we know the companions, which is you get to do the introductory quest, then that unlocks them to be your follower. Okay, so sum up in case that was a little confusing because I'm getting really distracted by what's going on the screen. Um, you unlock them in the Crown Store. If you have ESO Plus, you get them for free. If you do not have ESO Plus, you buy them in the Crown Store, and that will unlock them and bring them to their zone that their introductory quest is going to be in. So you'll have to find them and blah blah blah. So that's basically it. As for the question, a lot of us are asking, what about ESO Plus free trial times that they have? We don't know. We don't know that whether if you get them on ESO Plus during the free trial, do you lose them when it's gone? I don't know. Zoss had answered a question that's kind of similar like that. Kevin had mentioned on the forums that if you have ESO Plus, you pick up the companions, but your ESO Plus lapse for whatever reason, you don't lose them. Now, this is very different from other companions. For everyone saying, well, we didn't get the companions during ESO Plus weekends before. Well, because those other companions were tied to chapters. We, us ESO Plus members don't get those for free. We have to buy the chapters too. That's the reason why. So it's a little different. It's a little weird area we've never seen. So we'll have to see how it's addressed going forward. Um, I'm intrigued by their. I will say, one is a Dragonite, but also uses soul magic, so that's cool. That's the high elf. She has apparently a very interesting story, so I'll be really interested in see what how they address it, where it goes, and stuff like that. And also the Khajiit, which is a very interesting story. He's apparently from the past or something, from an old order. He got lost in time, blah blah blah. Probably a Daedric or whatever. But he uses necromancy even differently. So I'm really interested in that one because I have a necromancy main, and I'm excited about both these stories. I don't really use companions very much, but I do like their stories. I do enjoy them and they're fun. So I'm excited about that. I am a little concerned about the whole them being in the crown store thing. We'll have to see. We won't see how much they'll cost because on PTS everything's just one. It's just about as cheap as they can make it, which is like one gold or whatever it is. But we'll have to see how where that goes. They also have a new grimoire for scribing. It's called Banner Bearer. Now it is in the Alliance skill line under support, and it has no cost, but it reduces the caster's magic recovery, health recovery, and stamina recovery. But it has buffs. It's mainly a support skill for tanks or for healers. And you can buff everything from recovery to damage to, I think, ultimate to, there's many different things you can do, which is pretty interesting. It needs some testing to see how stronger it can be. But the one thing that I do like about the scribing abilities, just in general, is that, you know, they are fun. They're an option. It's not like, they're needed for meta. It's like you need this ability. No, I mean, you can have them, but it's not a big deal. And I think that's something that they need to stick to when it comes to scribing. It just needs to be fun. It just needs to be like an option for people out there. You know. Um, Now the one thing that was a little concerning to me that they talked about in the live stream was the new tutorial. They have yet another new tutorial. They are retiring the current one, which is what takes place on Belfaria Island or Adamantine Tower or whatever you want to call it. It has a lot, Durrani Tower has a lot of different names. They're going back to the Cold Harbor tutorial, which I think makes sense. And they said they're going to tweak it and they're going to adjust it and redo it and stuff like that. But all I have to say before I get into anything further is, please let this be the last change. For the love of God, stop changing the tutorial. Like, your obsession with changing the tutorial, which is what led to in really weird situations that we have going on in some of the starter zones, and probably led to the tutorial being changed back to Cold Harbor. We had people who didn't know. Oh, this is the slaughterfish thing, I think, by the way. But we had people who absolutely had no idea what the dark anchors were. Like, I went into Ordon one day, I think it was during an event, and I had people in zone to hear him say, "What's the giant chains coming out of the sky?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? You have to be kidding me." No, they didn't know because they went through the tutorial, but the tutorial didn't talk about the main quest, where your soul, your soul is taken by Molag Bal, blah 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 blah, or Many Marco. Like they had no idea, and it's like people have to know the main story of the game. It's the main story of the game. It's great that they know the main story of the zone that they went in, but the main story of the game has to be pretty important too, right? So I think that's why they went back, and I think it's smart. And I will be doing a playthrough of the tutorial. I'm actually really excited to try it. I want to see how different it is. I hope that they kept that part where the guy is thrown in and gets impaled on the metal spikes, and you can hear him go. I kind of hope that they kept that. I think that's actually really cool. That's the one morbid thing they have in the game, and it's like, hey, like Deja would do that. That makes sense. But for the love of God, stop changing it. Like, this has to be it. It never should have gotten away from the Cold Harbor tutorial because you have little tangent. Now you have all these old tutorials, right? That for the most part, the areas that they were in aren't used for anything. It's just dead assets. Like Lost Valley Redoubt. All of you, I think that's the one that, oh, maybe that's not it. I think it's Deepwood Redoubt from Skyrim, right? If you remember that, you go in, it's a bunch of Forsworn, blah, blah, blah. That was the tutorial area for Western Skyrim. You can't get in there anymore. An entire nostalgic Nordic ruin is just gone. And they did a really good job on it. I think I even showed it in one of my older videos. If you scroll down and take a look, where I went through it, and they did a really good job on making it look like how it looked in Skyrim because it's an old Nordic ruin. It should look the same, right? But that's gone now. Oh yeah, you will die if you fall off that, by the way. Um, and I think that's bad. It's dead assets. Why not create a quest like you did with Somerset, like you did with Morrowind? Vardenfell and Somerset both have side quests that take you to the area, at least in general, in the same general space where the tutorial took place, so you don't lose, so those assets aren't gone. But all the chapters after that had tutorials tied to them, even Belfuri Island, all those assets are now dead, gone. They're just there, rotting, and it's weird. It's waste. Now they have a few other things that kind of good, kind of bad, but not a big deal. But they have Imperial City itemization and the key changes for Telvar, and the keys to open the vaults are changing, which I think is pretty cool. They have a new challenge mode called Golden Pursuit. It's access through group and activity finder. When active, you do activities and you get rewards, and the rewards can vary. I think we'll have to see what that's all about. They didn't really touch on it too much, even in an article on Livestream that I recall. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Obviously, new skill styles, which is really cool. And they have a change to the ESO Plus membership, which I think was needed after they changed the DLCs in quarter 3 and quarter 4, which I'm actually all for still. I actually like that they changed quarter 3 and quarter 4, but they needed something for ESO Plus. So now, if you're an ESO Plus member, you will also get bonuses to Telvar and Alliance points gains, which is really cool. So, just to wrap things up a little bit, overall, the update sounds pretty good. It's a pretty solid update for being pretty much 99% free, beyond what they're doing with the companions anyway. I'm a little worried about that. A lot of people are already feeling, that they're getting scammed or whatever, but I mean, you got to remember they told us in January that companions weren't going to be in this update, and a lot of us were like, "Well, how are they going to be implemented? That's weird." So this is how they're implemented. We'll see. I mean, they could put them extremely cheap in the Crown Store, because from what I've gathered from some live streams and stuff like that, that Zos has done, is that I don't think it was planned for them to not be in the chapter. originally is they said that they needed more time to polish them up. So this might be a one-time thing, or it could be what they're doing going forward. I don't know, but we'll have to find out more on that. But that's it for this video. I'm excited about update 44. There are a few things I'm worried about,
which
but,
is what we're trying to go with.
Shut up. But I will be on the PTS, hopefully doing some more videos when it comes up on Monday. I really do appreciate you watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as I said, and I'll see you in the next one.